love, welcome home to Eden. So this is one of my last videos for men. I'm moving my focus towards women and the woman inside men. But here goes. This is a really heartfelt question that came in about masturbation, and the question was, is it okay to masturbate towards, fantasizing about somebody you don't know? And it was a heartfelt question because what we're talking about is energetic boundaries, right? So in one case, it's like, one sense you go, well, what does it matter? They don't even know. But I really think that on a deep level, everybody knows things. Everybody feels things. And so, for one thing, if this is a person you work with, it could make you really awkward around them. The point about masturbation, I think, should be connection. Are you connecting with yourself and your heart and your joy and your pleasure? And then is it going to help you connect with others, the fact that your sexual energy is alive? But if it makes you awkward and uncomfortable, then it's not really beneficial to the relationship. You can fantasize about a movie star, and I think it's actually a better idea to take different movie stars all of whom turn you on in some way, and imagine them loving you back. The question is also about obsession. At what point does masturbation turn into some kind of fixation where you really can't tell the difference between fantasy and reality? And that would be scary, because then that's where stalking comes from. So you don't want to get into any of that energy. So one way to engage with fantasy and your sexuality is to imagine an energy body, like a spiritual being coming towards you who turns you on intellectually, who turns you on emotionally, who turns you on spiritually, and turns you on physically. And then you're connecting with the physicality of your earth and the spirituality of your air, the elements within you, the emotionality of your fire. And when you imagine loving somebody who's igniting all these different parts of you, you start to magnetize love. That's the thing. Appreciation, any kind of appreciation, and I think masturbation, when you're just adoring somebody in fantasy, is really high vibration. But appreciation and gratitude and celebration is a high vibration. And so, yes, you want to feel good about your masturbating, but I know myself personally, I really don't find it to be, I feel like I'm crossing boundaries. So if I'm going to, pleasure myself and think of somebody, it would be somebody who I'm involved with. That way I'm enhancing my focus on them and my adoration of them. And if I'm not involved with somebody, then I do a formless meditation of invoking, and sometimes the movie star things works, getting keep changing the face. Because what you're doing is if you focus with desire upon what you want, it actually really, really helps to bring it. So I want you to feel like you can actually use your masturbation to explode into your complete passionate life, and that orgasmic energy, when you think of the thing you want, even if it's a job or a new talent, skill you're developing, and you imagine yourself at the height of that success while you're orgasming, I think it actually helps to bring it to you more quickly. Yeah, use your masturbation to change your life. Now, this is the thing. The trouble with men masturbating a lot and getting hooked on, doing that many times a day, is you're squandering your life seed, and that can really wear you out, and also get you in a state of mind that's just always hyper, and then finally you can relax because of you masturbated, and you don't ever develop your capacity to withhold your ejaculation. And to really become an amazing lover to a woman, you need to be able to withhold your ejaculation, and that would be pressing on that vein at the bottom of your balls when you're about to come and stopping the cum. And then pretty soon, if you do that many times, you get to the place where you can do it without manually having to press on the vein. So then you are able to enter your heart and your love and your spirituality in lovemaking, because you can last many hours. And this creates a chakra connection with your lover that's so deep and profound. And then what happens is you're not focused on this quick orgasm that then ends things. You actually start to have rolling orgasms that roll up and down your spine and are multi-orgasmic, just like women have. Isn't that amazing? This is actually true. I've spoken to a number of men who've accomplished this. Now, if you're older and you're like, well, hey, I can't even get it up at all, and you're talking about going all night, and the blood circulation has left from my penis, well, that's a whole different story. But I do think that your masturbation without coming still is something you can develop the muscles there. And also, what's interesting about this whole thing about circulation is that there are herbs out there. And I'm not going to give the recipe now, because I know there's a lot of different recipes out there that are herbal recipes for men's testosterone and blood flow. And I know one person who used them very successfully. It was just life-changing for him. And I also know of other older men who've taken, Viagra, like really small amounts of it, like broken up the pills into tiny quantities and gotten their Viagra from Canada so that they can get the blood flow going there again. And then once they didn't have to keep using that Viagra, because sometimes it's just, getting the blood flow, the energy back. And the other thing to realize about the cock getting soft thing is that there's a lot that it has to do with about your heart. If you were angry at the last woman you broke up with, or heartbroken, this will change your cock for years. He will just be passively aggressively angry and rebelling and not wanting to go enter womankind. So to really deal with the emotions of heartbreak and to feel them fully and to, love yourself through it and open your heart again. Trust, nobody's perfect and everybody's heartbroken along the way. So to close down, is detrimental to you. So what can you do to forgive yourself, to forgive her, to actually have a conversation that opens the door again? I would recommend that, okay? Much love to you, darling. Pleasure yourself in great dignity and just feel subtly the boundaries of if you're going to connect with a woman and you plan to ask her out and you want to masturbate to her first, fine, because you're actually using it to create a cord of connection, okay? But just feel the subtlety, okay, of does it help you to connect with her? Does it help you to connect in everyday life? And are you using fantasy women like porn women and porn magazines that then really just are so different from the way women are that you are no longer able to connect with real women? That's the tragedy in the whole pornography, masturbation world, because we want you to have your amazing gift of love and sensuality to be given and received, and for you to open into more and more pleasure in your life. Okay, love, this is one of my last videos for men. I'm changing the show over to be all about bringing more feminine energy to the planet. So I'm going to be focusing on women, and that also means the woman in you. So I invite you to please still join this show. You'll still probably learn a lot from it, maybe even more, because I can see that the whole planet right now needs female energy, and the female energy within men is what really needs to come forward. And the feminine energy in women needs to be supported. We don't need to have our equal rights by becoming like men. Okay, that's what we have been doing, fighting for our right to be like men. We need to be more feminine. More feminine. So that's what's happening in my heart, in my life. I invite you to learn about your feminine heart of pleasure by staying with this show. And don't feel left out. It's just a different way I'm going to be focusing my information. Okay? Love life, darling. Yes. Take care of yourself.